Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode in our exclusive four-part interview series showcasing our 2021 award winners. For today's session, we are glad to have with us Mr. Sean Low from Golden Vision Capital Singapore, who will be interviewing Mr. Shane Chesson from Openspace Ventures for its Fundraise of the Year win with the successful raise of Openspace Ventures III. Allow me to introduce our guests today. Sean recently joined Golden Vision Capital on 2nd August as its CEO and CIO. The company is a new PE firm based in Singapore, backed by a single family office, tasked to make PE funds, direct and co-investments globally. Before Sean joined the firm, he spent 17 years in GIC, the primary fund manager for Singapore's sovereign wealth. Prior to joining GIC, Sean was the director for the Singapore Economic Development Board based out of Chicago, USA. He currently chairs the Audit Committee in CFA Singapore and is also a member of its investment committee. And we have Shane with us, founder and partner of Openspace Ventures, a Singapore-headquartered VC, focused on investments in Southeast Asia-based technology companies. Openspace manages 4 funds with total committed capital of US $550 million from global investors. Some Openspace investments overseen by Shane include Gojek, now GoTo, HelloDoc, Bioformis, Whisper, TradeGecko, Phenomena, Tiny Hub Group, and Pluang. Shane was previously Managing Director and Co-Head Technology Investment Banking of Citigroup Asia Pacific, and he currently serves as a board member for the SVCA. I shall now leave the floor to Sean.
Hi, Xavier. Thanks for the introduction. Hi, Shane. Congratulations for your latest win, Fundraise of the Year. I don't think this will be the last award you're getting. Look at the rate that you're fundraising, you'll probably win it again. I don't know how soon.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Step by step, we're very happy and grateful for the award.
Yeah, I know you always raise one fund at a time. So every year, every time you fundraise, you get a chance. So, anyways, your last fundraise was amazing. But before we go to your fundraising, maybe you can tell us more about Openspace for those of us who might be less familiar with Openspace. What's your proudest moment in Openspace? What are your landmark deals?
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Openspace is 100% focused on Southeast Asian technology. We are huge believers in the region. You know, the demographics, the role of technology and development, its positioning in global capital flows. We believe it's super exciting, but also super complex. But that complexity can be solved if you invest in the region and you build out the team and the capabilities matched for the opportunity. And so for us, that's a team of 30 people now across 5 offices in the region. So yeah, we're really happy at how this has evolved. It started off in 2014 with myself and my co-founder, Mr. Hien Go. I came from an Asian technology deal-making background across North Asia and India and other places, but saw Southeast Asia as a great opportunity that was as yet untapped. And Hien had been an entrepreneur. He'd built a business across Southeast Asia. He'd successfully exited, but also felt like there was an opportunity in creating a fit-for-purpose Southeast Asian venture firm. So that's the path that we've followed, and we're most proud, I think, of having built out the team that we have and having brought so many incredible founders along the path, some of them already towards exit, and many of them starting to move towards IPO and other exciting developments.
So tell us more of some of your landmark deals. What put Openspace on the map?
Yeah, so I guess people are probably know us as one of our earliest deals was one of our best known deals to date, but there's a lot more stuff coming, which I look forward to telling more stories. But we were the lead for the Series A of a small motorbike taxi company in Jakarta called Gojek, and that was at the end of 2014, and that was one of our first deals out of our first fund. So to see the vision of the management team of Nadeem and Kevin and others to sort of grow from being a transport solution to also providing food, logistics, financial services, and to really be a champion of Indonesian technology development, I think that was probably one of the deals that we did early. We continued to invest all the way through the Series C and has been a landmark deal. It's also been a great source of additional deals because we've formed the relationship and we know that market well through our friends and our partners at Gojek. And so we work together with them on HelloDoc, which has become the leading digital health business in Indonesia. Working together with them and Go Ventures on Pluang, which is creating some waves in the wealth tech industry in Indonesia. And there's other situations that we're also working on together with our friends at Gojek and now Go2. But there's more than just that in some of our portfolio, Sean. So I'd be very happy to tell you more details on some of our portfolio companies and their stories.
I can't wait. I mean, I think how many portfolio companies you have now? More than 30, right? I remember you said.
Yeah, we're at 39. So
39. Wow.
give it a few weeks and we'll get to the 40 number, which will be, I guess, one step along the way as well.
And that includes exits. I mean, exits is not easy to achieve. I think one of the things that makes you stand out and helps in your fundraising, I understand it, is your exit. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about exit.
Yeah, I think for us at Openspace, myself having sort of come from more of an exit-focused background, people like Jessica Huang Pelur, also, a private equity veteran, we're always thinking about exits, even when we're making early stage deals. And so I think it was incumbent on us as one of the earlier players in this market to show, as we invested and as these companies showed great mark to market, that those valuations were real and that we could bring that cash back to our investors. So for Fund 1, we're in a very positive DPI position, a carry paying position. And I think that's a sign that even before some of the big IPOs that are coming, like the Go2 IPO or the Finexcel IPO, I think this shows that there is ample liquidity. So we work very hard to assess exit options from relatively early. And we know it takes time, patience, and a process that makes sense to optimize those options. But I think it's also something that we can do and we can show to our LPs that we can bring value to the table. Where are some of those exit opportunities? I think IPO is something that we'll continue to execute on. We did the IPO for Whisper in Australia in 2019, and we sold our shares in 2020. We're working on 2 US IPOs at present, and we have our first potential Thai IPO also coming through our wealth tech business over there, which I can describe in more detail. And then M&A also very, very sort of like vibrant, so many different parts of the globe are now interested in Southeast Asia, different angles on the strategy. And I think we have a chance to do some interesting full sell sides. Paul gave a very nice speech last night about TradeGecko. That was one of our investments as well. And to see them do a great exit to Intuit in the US was an example of what the Southeast Asian ecosystem can create in terms of strategic M&A exit options.
Yeah. I think I figured there's so many things I can ask you. I wanted to have questions that will benefit both the LPs and the GPs who are listening to this call. So maybe first for the LPs out there who are thinking of investing in your fund, maybe you can share a little bit of what are the deals what do you look for? I know it's a difficult question because you answer it so many ways, but because you invest in HelloDoc healthcare, you invest in fintech, you invest in e-commerce, you invest in a lot of different space, but what's the single thing that you look for when you invest in the company so that LPs can, if they don't remember anything, they just remember this. What does Openspace look for?
Yeah. I think for Openspace, our name itself reminds us every day that what we're looking for is the next big opportunity. Be open to new ideas and new sectors and new geographies in some cases. So for us, it's about finding those untapped opportunities where we work together with and back a founder who has incredible passion for filling that space, for finding the winner in that space. And so step by step, we will find ways to back new sectors a step ahead of the curve is our goal. So when you back a small tech company out of Indonesia before the big capital arrives, that creates great returns. But also if you believe in the health tech ecosystem coming out of Singapore and going global, like we did with Bioformus, which we first invested in 2017, these are opportunities that we think are really ready for Openspace capital and support, which is where we pour in our operating team's involvement. And so I think that timing is incredibly crucial. And if you match that together with a founder who has an even deeper passion that the timing is just right and the product is just right, that usually turns into a good investment, Sean.
Okay. Yeah. I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there who are listening to the call. So now you know what can get Shane excited to invest in your company. So, but I guess most of the people dialing into this call would be are the GPs, and what they really want to know is how do you get your award? What tips can you share with them, all the GPs who are struggling to raise their fund now? Um, so talk about your fundraising. I guess the first question on fundraising I have for you is that how do you set your hard cap? Because that's always tough. A lot of GPs ask me this question. How do you set the hard cap? I know the LP answer to that question, but I want to hear from you because in your case, if you had set a higher hard cap, you would have raised more money. Yeah, so maybe share about that.
Yeah, no, thanks, Sean. I think our goal at Openspace is to grow, but not to grow faster than the market. And in fact, when we've gone from our Fund 1 to 2 to 3, and now with our Plus vehicle, we're typically growing slower than the market, which has grown fast, yes, but by growing a little slower than the market, and keeping within your sweet spot, making sure that the team and process that you've built is suited for the opportunity at hand and not extending too far too fast. And so for us, when we set the $200 million cap on Fund 3, we felt like that was a great way for us to be super disciplined. Yes, there's more ideas flowing through. Yes, up rounds are happening faster, right? Yes, late stage and mid stage capital is easier to raise, but we want to be super disciplined and raise the bar. So we think moderate growth in fund size to make sure that you have the appropriate resources to keep investing in the region, but also the appropriate discipline to make sure you're not getting outside your core capabilities is the way that we think about that. It's also a conversation with your LPs, Sean. I think we have to always, as GPs, we always have to understand, we're investing their hard-earned capital, their precious capital. And I think we listen very carefully to our core LPs when it comes to deal size and ultimately in deal strategy as we move into new areas. And so our example of fundraising in 2020, I know there is a lot of people on the road at the moment and wish them the best. I'm sure 2021 can be a fruitful fundraising year. But 2020, there was some scary moments, if you remember. There was liquidity concerns and there was a lot of volatility in the market and uncertainty. And that was exactly the moment when we went out to do our first close on Fund 3. And having that active dialogue with our LPs, making sure that we're communicating not just the up rounds, but also the liquidity, the exits that we're delivering. And that helps people to get comfortable to back you and to come back even in the middle of volatile markets, which at the end of the day, as we saw with 2020 and 2021, have created opportunities for us to invest in great businesses at the cusp of a growth curve. So that would be my advice for GPs who are out there. Keep up the hard work. Please keep telling the Southeast Asia story. It's great for the ecosystem. There's going to be a bunch of no's, but those no's are no's for now, and really enjoy telling your story, evolving your story, and listen to every LP sort of perspective, because that helps inform you also about where the world is headed. And the role of capital allocation is an integral one for us to also understand what the future holds.
Thanks for all this great advice. I actually completely resonate with me as an LP. I think a lot of the GPs, what they don't do often enough as an LP here is there's not enough communication. So you really need to communicate well with your LPs, bring them along in your, when you set your targets of fundraising, and find out what they think is working and what they think is not working. So communication is very, very important. I think that's a very, very useful tip. There are other more mundane questions, but I thought I should still ask because it'll be of interest. One is, you decide to use placement agents. You put more focus on existing LPs. What's the ratio between existing LPs and new LPs? And do you invest in a large fundraising team? How do you think about mundane questions like this? Any tips to share?
Yeah, a couple of things. I think it's good to have diversity across your LP base, that's for sure. So we're very fortunate to have sovereigns, university endowments from multiple geographies, pension and super funds, and a very wide range of family offices. So back to that idea of learning from LPs, which we are constantly. I really love our AGM and our conversations, one-on-one conversations with a very broad range of capital providers. So we always look to build that diversity by type, by strategy, by geography, by personality. the same way we build our team is sort of some of the considerations that we think about how to build our LP base. And so that would be some of the things that I think about when we go onto the road again, keeping our existing LPs, very sort of satisfied with the service and the returns we're delivering, and then how to add some more diversity to the partners that we work with. In terms of working with building up your own team versus working with placement and financial advisors, we're open. I think we have a 2-person team at the moment. We'll continue to invest in our own capabilities. The CRM system is way beyond that now. We have a sort of a co-investment engine. We have sort of like more, I think, insights into both existing LPs and potential LPs, where we're trying to make sure that we're delivering not just new funds, but also direct investment opportunities. So I think that's best done through a well-resourced and talented IR team. So keep expecting investment from Openspace there. At the same time, I guess we have continue to work with some advisors who have new angles on the Openspace story for potential LPs, and definitely invite any interested parties to connect with us and hear about some of the future plans.
Oh, I think that's very useful tips on the. I think you make it as a fund when you actually have money to invest in the CRM system, because you have so many LP contacts and so many deal flow, so much deal flow.
We use the same CRM system, which is self-built, by the way, by our technology team, which also covers all the companies that we invest in, as well as the people who may or have invested in us. And so it causes quite a bit of development work, but we think that the central source of truth and measuring a lot of different aspects is something that's important to what we do as well.
Yeah, actually, I completely agree with that. That's very important. I hope that you can get your portfolio companies to use it, because every company needs a good CRM system. If you can develop it and get your portfolio companies to use it, maybe that's another incentive for them to pick you as your.
Getting the CRM system right, Sean, is the first step to a proper machine learning model for predicting the future, if you ask me. So we'll also make a step along the way there.
This is a talk of authority from some tech investor, the importance of CRM. I mean, that can't resonate with me. So maybe before we wrap up, tell us about your latest fundraising. What the award was for the fund that you raised last year. How about this year? What are you raising this year, and what makes you? Can you share more about your latest fundraise, and do you think you can win the award again?
Well, if there's anything I do to get your vote, Sean, I would love to find out what that is. But yes, if there's any chance for us to submit for next year's awards, we would love to do so. We raised the $200 million Fund III focused on Series A and B last year. This year we launched and have made some significant progress in closing a fund called OSV Plus, which is focused on mid-stage opportunities, also technology, Southeast Asia. Its strategy is to pick the best from Openspace's existing portfolio, so to pick across those 40 companies that we've invested in, find those that are getting to the mid-stage, have great incoming mid-stage investors, and to utilize Openspace's pro rata. We put more capital in so that our LPs and others can see that we think this business is actually on the path to exit and big things. So that's invested now in 5 going on 6 positions, and we've raised a significant proportion of that fund already, and we look forward to closing that in the coming months. So that's been a exercise in itself. I think, yes, we have the Series A, B market, which is vibrant, and we have a 3-fund track record. The growth market is very interesting. It's related to, but needs a distinct investment approach. And so I'd be very pleased to share that with anyone who's interested to hear more. We added additional capabilities for us to address the mid-stage, and I think that's important as well. If you extend your strategy, add more people, make sure you've got senior input into those decisions instead of just increasing fund size and assuming that what you have today can do everything you need to do in the future.
Thank you so much, Shane. On behalf of all the members, thank you for sharing tips on fundraising, and for the LPs out there. Shane is fundraising again, so reach out to him and his team, and he will track you on with his CRM system. I hand over back to Sylvia.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you very much, Shane and Sean, for taking time to share your insights with everyone. For our viewers out there, we hope you found the session beneficial and stay tuned for our next episode in this 4-part series. In the meantime, take care and stay safe as always. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.